Loaded
Sport.
Sport.
Does it sit second, man?
No, I don't think he does. I think Kevin Keegan probably sits second.
Oh my God, what a scandal.
Austin Eckler versus the Cards. Go and fuck the lot of you.
God, Eckler.
He's making me like I'm some sort of cameo, like I've come in and go, hand out the bag, England to win.
Hello and welcome to episode 11 of Loaded Sport, where today we are going to be previewing week 14 of the NFL season and looking towards the big one, England up against France in the quarterfinals of the
Lego,
World
baby.
Cup.
Lego.
Joining me to go through this is Sam, Skin and Mudge. Lads, welcome back.
Helicopter. Aye, aye.
Very good, thank you.
What
And
are
a
we
big
doing?
welcome back to Mr. Tom Kemp. Thank you and welcome back to joining us.
Easy, Lord.
Mr. Dawson, Mr. White, Mr. Sadat, man with the mic, you little snowflake, you. I want to put you on my tongue and let you melt on me.
Oh,
wow,
I
yeah.
missed that.
That's the worst one, yeah.
I've missed it nonetheless. It's great to have you back, Kemp, to go through week 14 of the NFL season, but we'll start by looking at England against France, taking place on Saturday evening. By far the biggest test that we've got this tournament so far. Kemp, would you say it's the biggest test that Southgate is facing as England manager?
Yes, it definitely is. I've made it quite clear in the past that he's not been able to win in 50-50 games. I think you look at the games that I've sort of referred to more than any others, and that's been Belgium, Croatia, Italy. And I don't think at those times they were as strong as this France team is now in this tournament. So I think it's going to be his stiffest test. And let's be honest, his tests previously, he hasn't come through them with flying colours. So I'm not overwhelmingly positive about it. I don't want. I've got to tread a line recently, because if I am positive about it, Dawson says it's only X team, and if I'm not positive about it, then Sam says fuck off, stop being negative. So it's a very delicate tightrope I'm walking at the minute. So I'll do my best to navigate it.
I think you kind of set that up yourself, didn't you, to be fair? Mudge, Mudge,
Oh.
coming across to you, we spoke a lot about Jude Bellingham earlier on in the week. There's a chance he's going to be starting because there's also been news that Declan Rice has been missing training through illness. What's your expectations for the lineup if Rice is to miss out?
I would probably think that in terms of, I have a feeling he might start Phillips, because I think he might want to keep Bellingham in that cam position. So,
Endo?
No, I mean,
you mean if Rice has dropped?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if Rice is dropped, as Hendo's, I assume, would still be in the lineup. But I'd have Hendo and Phillips, I think, in that middle. And if he wants to keep Bellingham in that cam position, I think he'd make it work that way. If not, Bellingham could potentially drop back. But I think I'm predicting Phillips starting and then them keeping Bellingham in that cam position.
And then Foden and who else on the wings? Saka?
Oh, do you want my full lineup?
Not necessarily full lineup, mate. I just thought if you were going down that route, because a lot of people think that
Let's do
Foden
it.
might be moved into
Let's
the middle.
do
But
it.
yeah, go for it if you want to do your full
Let's
lineup.
do it. So assuming if Rice doesn't start, I will quickly go with...
I personally think he'll be there, just an FYI. I think he plays.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it'd be a really serious injury for him to miss it, right? It's the biggest game of his international career. All right, let's assume Rice starts. We'll have Rice, Hendo in the middle. We'll go with... I don't think he's dropping Saka for this, although I would love to have Rashford play this because it's a bit of a weird one, but Rashford against PSG, there's a bit of history there. And, he's obviously come out on top in that matchup as well. But I think he'll do what he did last time, which is Foden, Bellingham, and Saka with Harry Kane up top, and then the back four staying as is. I think Walker is going to be absolutely pivotal in this in terms of containing Mbappe. But yeah, I think he pretty much keeps that lineup the same.
Is Sterling back? Is Sterling back in camp?
Yeah, he's on his way back now, but I don't think he'll have much to do with this fixture, to be honest. I kind of mirror what Mudge is saying in the fact that I just hope he's going to play Walker and just let him go toe-to-toe with Mbappe. I'm praying he keeps that back four and doesn't revert to a back three. And I just think, just go for a war. Just have England v France. Don't sit back.
It's not in his nature, though, is it? That's the thing.
Mate, France have conceded a goal in every game this tournament. And
I'm not saying we shouldn't do it. I'm just saying I don't think that's in Southgate's makeup.
Well, there was that rumour come out today, weren't they, that they've kind of got a plan for him. And it's to stick one of our most creative players behind Mbappe to emphasise his defensive frailties. So there is that side of it. They can be got at, and I think we will get them. It's just it depends how many they put past us.
I think we'll go Pickford, Walker, Stones, Maguire, Shaw, Hendo, Jude, Rice, Sterling, Kane, and Saka. To be honest, I think he will revert back to the players that have done it for him. And Sterling is one of them players. So I do think if Raheem gets back in time, I think he'll feature.
Oh no, sorry, I didn't miss that. I didn't. No,
I think he will. I think he'll feature if he gets back in time.
No way. Not. I think you got to look at it in terms of obviously he's had quite a emotionally tough time recently. And I think if he's going to get back into it, it'll be a lot of travelling
too. A lot of travelling.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I'm not saying I'd do it. I absolutely wouldn't have him anywhere near it, even if he were fully fit. I just think, again, Southgate does lean heavily on the players that have done it for him before.
But you've got to think, though, to the point you're making, though, he's dropped him, hasn't he? He already dropped him pre the burglary. So he were already on bench. He were already on bench for the last knockout game against Senegal. Otherwise, it'd have been in lineup. But I know he had to go back. But
a lot of the time, especially in big games, is what I mean. When he's got these players that he really relies on, he's relied on for years. In these big games, I don't know. I just feel like he's going to revert back to type with the player selection and with the tactics. But we shall see. It's exciting.
They might look at his experience and try to include him that way. Me personally, I don't think he's going to feature again this World Cup. I think Rashford and Saka have pretty much gained them places for themselves. Grealish and Foden haven't really done anything wrong to be a reason for why they shouldn't be starting. Skin, do you agree with sticking to 4 at the back?
Sorry, mate, I fell asleep on that set out for a bit. 100%, mate. Yeah, he could quite easily go to that 3 at the back, but 2 defenders.
You've been a big advocate for that, haven't you? 3 at back.
Yeah, I've mentioned it. Yeah, I've mentioned it purely because I think in the past he's been most likely to do that. But I think we're at a stage now where if we do that the mindset is, as I've mentioned in a previous episode, we're playing not to lose as opposed to play to win.
100%.
So stick with the same lineup against Senegal. The only one that I might sort of debate is either Saka or Rashford, but everyone else in the same positions they played, let's fucking go for it. Because look, we can play defensive, we can go conservative and lose 1-0, 2-0 or whatever. Or if we're going to go out, let's go out swinging. Let's lose 3-2. Let's go out in extra time. Let's take it. If we're going to go down, which if I'm honest, I don't think we'll qualify. Obviously, I'd love it if we do, but I do think France will be just too strong. But if we're going to do it, let's just go out. Let's stick to what we've been doing. Let's stick to what's been working. Let's play with that freedom that we've bigged up so much over these last few episodes following the performances that they've put in. So let's do it. Whatever happens, as long as we are sat here Monday night talking about it and we can say, look, they gave it everything. There's nothing that they backed away from or backed down from.
Left it all on the field.
That's it.
I'll be fighting instead of like cowards.
So I have got a question for you all on the back of that. If that was to happen and we did leave it out on the field and we were just beaten by the better team on the day, would you still want Southgate to retain the manager's job for going into the Euros, or would you want him to step away and get someone fresh in? If we went out,
I'd say ask Tom Kemp answer that first, because I think we know what your answer is going to be, lad.
I think you'd be surprised. I think if you look at it and it's a really nip and tuck game, we go for it, we play really well, we get eliminated on penalties, or we're very, very close, but tactically we adapt, we change, maybe we go 1-0 down, we pull it back to 2-1, we draw 2-2, and
that's what I'm saying. If it is that type of game,
it's the manner of the defeat for me. Yeah, it's the manner of the defeat. If he does exactly the same as he did against Croatia and Italy, I think it's quite obvious that tactical ineptitude that he's got, it's not gonna serve these boys well, and it's not going to change as these guys get into their prime, because a lot of them aren't even in the prime yet. So what we'll need at that point, I completely agree, is a change in management and a change at the top. But if we do go out there against France, we're fearless and we can tactically go toe to toe with them, then yeah, let's get him in for the Euros as well, and let's see what we can do there.
Go on, Mudge. You go first, mate.
Okay, mate. I'll just say quickly. I think in regards to Southgate, I think the positive aspect of keeping him around is that unusual longevity of having a coach kind of staying around for the amount of time that he has. I think it will be good for that familiarity for the younger players. I think he's been brilliant in terms of kind of organising our young players and getting the best out of them at international level. We've not seen that. I've not seen that in my lifetime.
I think off the field. think you can't really argue that. It probably has been the greatest England manager, I'd say, of all time in regards to off the field things. Bringing that group together. I don't think there's been behind Kevin Keegan, of course. I don't think there has been a better England manager at doing that.
No, and we've spoke about this in the past, what his legacy would be, but you see in interviews now where players are excited to go on international duty, and that's one of the reasons why a lot of the players like an Eric Dyer, like a Jordan Henderson, these players where they might be on the cusp of probably not being in the next tournament, they're still around because of that. Yeah, even Maguire with the form he's been in, still made the squad and is still having a tremendous impact on that team. It's hard to teach that. And he's done such a phenomenal job. There's been a lot of interviews with players from the golden generation, like your Lampards, Gerrards, Ferdinands, who said, I hated going on international duty. That's why we never won anything, despite the team we had, because we hated being there. It was all about our club rivalries. We couldn't leave it at the door. And
Man United table, Liverpool table at catering.
Yeah, and how Capello ran it, like they hated it. They didn't want to be there. Ben Foster has spoken quite a lot about why he retired from international football when Capello was there because of the incident around the birth of his child. He spoke about it on Happy Hour podcast, so I'll not go into it. You can find it on YouTube or any social media. And that 2-3 minute story is damning of the environment and the atmosphere around an England international squad. So Southgate's done a brilliant job of that. I personally, just to go back to your original question, Sam, I think no matter what happens, whether they go out tomorrow, Wednesday, in the final, win it, whatever, I think this will be Southgate's last tournament. It's his third go at it. He's progressed each time. If he doesn't get past the semis this time, it's kind of like, right, have we hit that wall now? If he wins it, go out on a high. You've done what you set out to achieve. And I was thinking about this the other day because I was going to ask a similar sort of question of what do you see him doing next? Could he get a club career or whatever? I actually think he'd make a phenomenal pundit, similar to we talk about Tony Romo in the NFL all the time, like the insight that he can give and that kind of stuff. Not to say that he'd be a commentator, but I think he'd be
he's a bit of a dull bloke, though, isn't he? Can't you remember?
I was going to say
they had him on. Can't you remember? He was on ITV for years as
he was as a guest
before. Pundit. Yeah. They had in studio. We were on ITV for years before I got England job.
I think he's so different now, though. Like with the experience that he's got, like he's changed as well. I completely agree. He's been known as quite a dull, but he's so intelligent. And he seems to have come out of his shell as well. You can see how proud he is about the work that he's done, and how the pride that he takes in that. I think it'll be such a different dynamic now with that experience that he's got. That I think he'd give great insight because he's
I can see him already. I can see him going on to work for the FA in a different guise. He's very much an FA man,
yeah.
And I think he can. There's this independent review into football that Tracy Crouch did, and Gary Neville's talked about it, where they're going to make maybe the FA a bit more of an independent regulator, and
it needs to be
a bit of a stronger body than it is now. Because I think it's a bit. I don't think it's fit for purpose at times.
It's no good for notice at FA.
No, and I can definitely see Southgate becoming maybe a leading figure in the FA to revolutionise the way football is in the country. Yeah. But I think that'd be best for him. He's tried his chops at club level and he's not cut out for it.
Get him stuck in some grassroots.
Yeah, and listen, that's what he's done. The one criticism I cannot have of Gareth Southgate is that he's completely turned the England setup around, and he absolutely has. There's no getting away from that, and that's never been my criticism. My criticism is that I don't think he's tactically good enough for us to win a tournament, and I'm yet to be proved wrong. But going on what Dawson said there, I completely agree. He's changed the entire dynamic of English football for the better, and I think his legacy, no matter what happens, I think that's the most important thing. And
it'll be tough for someone to follow him. At that. Even if they go out Saturday, whoever comes in, no matter how rated they are.
But they're not going to be able to do the same job as him because they're not picking up the job in the state that it was when he left it. When he joined it, sorry.
So they'll be also coming to a bit of a clique, won't they? Sort of like it'll be like the outsider coming into this close group.
But also
I think they're professional enough to not.
Yeah, but also if Southgate does go and work at the FA, they've then got him to lean on and say, "Listen, Gareth, I don't know if you can
lean on me."
I don't know if you could come and have a word with some of the boys. I think there's like a bit of a click or maybe wanting to go back. And I think he's a really good person to have in the background that he can come in and say, listen, lads, I was the manager. It's great. I love my time. I loved you boys being here, but this is your gaffer now. You know, this is the way it's going. And I think he's going to be a really good influence if that's what he does decide to do.
Shall we get back to Saturday's game?
Yeah, crack on, Ag.
I've not really got much more to add to what you've just mentioned there, to be fair. So with England against France, I know, Skin, you've already mentioned that you think that France are just going to have a little bit too much for us.
Oh, here we go.
Last time we beat them in a competitive tournament, if I remember rightly, was 1980s. The late 1980s.
What do you mean, if you remember rightly? Like you were there and you watched it?
Mate,
no, if I remember rightly, as in I
Googled
looked
that.
at the statistics somewhere.
Okay.
And I believe it was around like the late 80s that we last beat them in.
Remember Euro 2004? Zidane throwing up at penalty.
Yeah, awful, mate. We're winning 1-0 right till end, weren't he?
Yeah.
He scored free kick and pen last 5 minutes or so.
Horrible, man.
So, Skin, I'm going to ask you first for your prediction.
No pressure. I've got last 2 right. I know with 3-0 victories.
Come on.
Okay. My prediction for England versus France is France 2-1 after extra time, 1-1 after 90 minutes.
Croatia-esque.
Croatia-esque. That's my prediction for Saturday, and it hurts me to say that. Ag, you go next, mate, because you didn't have much input on the Southgate thing there. So, what's your prediction, mate?
I think it's going to be 2-1 England. I think we're going to win.
Come on,
within the
let's
90.
have it.
I think it's going to be, without a shadow of a doubt, Mbappe is going to score. He's top goal scorer in the tournament, but I think with Walker, it's just going to be a case of he's beaten once. He's not going to like consistently beat him. Walker's going to have his number throughout that game. I think they've done plenty of research to make sure he's aware of Mbappe. But then you've got Maguire and Stones that are going to be busy dealing with Giroud and everyone else at the back. And like we've mentioned plenty of times, I think we've got a much stronger midfield. So I think within 90 minutes, we're going to win 2-1. Sam?
Just very quickly, if I could, just on what you said there.
Yeah, go on.
There's a key battle here. You mentioned your Mbappe's, your Giroud's, but I mentioned this early in the group chat, and we've mentioned him already with his illness. But Declan Rice is so underrated to how successful our system is.
Talk about it.
Antoine Griezmann has been one of, if not the most underrated players in this World Cup so far because of how Giroud's played, because of Mbappe. I think that he's been playing more of a sort of an attacking mid role. Rice and Griezmann is such a key battle on Saturday night. Keep an eye out on that because that, for me, could quite easily dictate which way that game goes based on who wins that battle.
I'm not sure. I'm thinking Endo's going to play a big part just for his experience of how to.
It's definitely going to be a midfield battle, isn't it? It's definitely going to be won and lost in that middle there.
Yeah, I think that's where the game comes down to. Is this is what I'm saying? If England go out on their sword, trying to play their brand of football, I think one of the main things that they need to do in that game is control the middle. If we win that battle in the middle, I think we've got a really strong chance at kind of attacking well. But it's tough when you've got the likes of Rabiot, Griezmann, like Skin saying, they're such a talented squad, that France team. But we're talented as well, so I hope we take it to them.
Right.
Well then, Sam, sorry, mate.
This is it, mate. It's okay. No, it's okay. I've been sat here feeling sick with this prediction. I've been to and froing all day on this moment. I've not given a shit about my rest of my locks today, my NFL locks, my football locks. It's just been this England prediction that's making me feel badly. And I'm going to go, I think this is why I feel so badly. I'm going 3-2 England. Can you imagine the scene?
I don't want to.
I know. You got last minute winner.
I mean, I don't want to call the order of goals, but I'm going 3-2 England.
If that does happen, UFC can cock off on Saturday night.
You're out.
I'm getting plastered if that happens on Saturday night.
Honestly, that's why I've been feeling a bit sick. I thought, can these words? It's the first time the words have left my mouth today, and I'm like, I'm going through.
Everybody get down to bookies and back France quick.
Yeah, lump on France. I've doomed us for sure, but I am
prick.
I'm doing it. I'm going 3-2 England. Take it to the bank.
Love it. Go on then, Mudge.
I'm going to go. So my heart says I'd love England to win 2-1, but my head says it's going to go 1-1, and I've got France winning on pens. Yeah, I know.
I can't deal with that.
I know. It's just England in a knockout stage, isn't it? It's got pens written all over at some point. I think hopefully we'll play well enough, but whether we can outscore France is something else. But I'm going to go with 1-1. And then France take it on pens. Just
on the back of your penalties prediction, saying it's going to come along at some point. I did see before we take Kemp's prediction, there was a discussion about scrapping extra time in general for the next World Cup and just going straight to penalties.
No way! I hate that.
Yeah, but if you think about it though, the extra time hasn't really produced many memorable moments recently.
I'm all for that personally.
It's such a good little warm up for the Pens. I think just a bit more football, just to kind of calm the nerves, and then your heart rate's at 150 watching the penalty shootout.
I can't deal with it. Right, Kempy, go for it, mate.
Oh, this is the one.
I don't
main
know why,
event.
I'm going to say I don't know why you come to me last. I'm going to end this segment on a real downer.
It's all right, mate. We're fully expecting
4-0 France.
I think France are going to win 2-1. I think we'll start really well. I think we'll deal with Mbappe brilliantly in first half. I think people are going to look at Kyle Walker like he's some Greek god after that first 45 minutes. Oh, mate, it's going to be a really good first half. And then I think, unfortunately, Mr. Southgate will revert back to type. I think we'll go 5 at back. I think we'll go negative. I think he will, what do you do when you're in pressure situations? You go back to what you know. You go back to what you think works.
Why would he though?
Why did he against Italy?
No. Just going by your logic there. If we've had a really good first half, why would he revert to a 5 at back after that?
But we had a fantastic first 15 minutes against Italy, and he reverted back to type.
Yeah. Yep.
No, but he's a bit of a different beast this time.
I don't think he is. I don't believe it. It's only a year after.
This tournament, we've only conceded 2 goals.
To be fair, mate, he has made some in-game changes this tournament, and it's affected results. That Wales game, it was 0-0 at half-time. We were by far the better side in first half. Yeah. He swapped Rashford.
Wales, boys.
But he swapped. It doesn't matter. He made the change. He swapped Rashford and Foden around, and within first opening minutes, they were both busy. Got free kick, scored, and away we were.
Yeah, Kemp, to use your logic, mate, I'm not having him. He don't do something, and then when he does do it, say, "Oh, it don't."
No, it's not that. It's just that you look at the circumstances.
Shut the fuck up, mate.
You look at the circumstance in which we won that game, and you look at Rashford. He scored that free kick, and then Wales had to come at us then, because they wanted to get some out of the game. So that opened up the game. Rashford scoring that free kick opened up the game. So I'm not having him being a tactical genius against Wales, who are absolutely diabolical in this tournament.
What I'm saying is he made changes and the changes worked.
No, not having it, boys, unfortunately.
I can't wait for Monday. I say either way. I don't think I'll be here Monday if England lose, because I can't deal with
Mate, I won't be here if England win.
I'm not going to be gloating. I'm not going to be gloating about England losing.
I'll still be elsewhere.
I can't deal with it. I told you so. It'll just be Adam going, Kev talk a soup performance, then add.
But I didn't say that
for an hour.
But I didn't say that when we lost against Italy or Croatia. I didn't say that. It's like,
but it just gets worse the more it happens, doesn't it?
I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say I told you so. I'm going to be as good as everybody else, believe it or not. But I think we'll deal with Mbappe really well, like I say, and then I think they'll just overwhelm us in the second half. I think they'll, like you've just mentioned, Skin, Griezmann's unbelievable, and I think...
Fucking come on, England. I'm getting fucking nervous now talking about it. I feel sick.
The interplay between him and Mbappe and Giroud, I think it's just going to be too much for the ageing midfielders like Henderson in that second half, and I think we're going to struggle. So
I don't know if it's just because... And again, this is a fair point to Kev, that in the Euros run, in the last World Cup run, the strength of side that we played wasn't exactly massive, but this feels like a final. I've got similar nerves now talking about it that I had last year against Italy for the Euros final.
I'm more confident though against Italy. These are defending champs, aren't they? Yeah. I will give Kemp credit in terms of the Italy performance. Southgate was way too conservative the minute we scored, but you can't live in the past. And this kind of notion that Gareth Southgate's prone to doing this, he's shown this tournament he's actually grown in terms of his ability to, he wants to obviously change it up in the second half. More often than not, it's paid off. Don't get me wrong, if he does it, I'll be jumping on him straight away. But I'm pretty confident that he will take it to France. He's going to have to, I think. Otherwise, he's out. He's got a time limit, I think, in terms of his England career. So it'll be. I'm nervous now that we've spoken about it. To be honest, I'm not going to lie.
I know we've spoken about it for way too long, but just quickly before we move on,
I just need to add one quick point before we go.
I do think he has been quite, I dare say, brave this tournament. He's stuck to his 4 at back rather than defaulting to a 5, which everybody thought he was going to start the tournament with. Stuck to a 4 at back. He's put that extra attacker on in dumping Phillips and letting Bellingham push on, and is even dropping Rashford. I know it was a massive decision to drop Rashford after 2 goals. He's bringing Saka on, and Saka's been just as good, if not even better than Rashford. So he has made these tough calls, really, and I think they have paid off so far.
In my opinion, so far this tournament, and again, the group stage wasn't the most difficult group, and again, we got
based on
fortunate with that
FIFA
one.
rankings.
Well, FIFA rankings can shove them up your arse. Listen, the only game that I sort of agree with you on is the Wales game. He did make those changes; they did affect the game. It's one thing making those changes against Wales; it's another thing, against Rob Page. I mean, I'm not being funny. I love Rob Page. He's a former Blade. He's a former Blade. I love him. I walked out at Tunnel with him in 2004 when I was a mascot.
Is it?
Mate, if that's how you talk about the people you love, I've got to think about how you talk about the people
you've got to think about it. Rob Page, he's not a tactical genius. He's no Deschamps. Absolutely not. So what concerns me, and again, Mudge, I completely understand what you're saying, and I do partially agree when you talk about the Wales point in that he changed it. But and this goes for everybody in any sport or in life, until you prove to me that you can do something that you haven't done, I won't believe you can do it. He's not proven to me in the past that he can tactically change things against a seasoned, really good tactical manager. He's never proven that to me before.
But he's really fucking good with that.
And I've got I've got no belief. Yeah, he's just as gutted about my opinions as he's buzzing with yours. He don't give a shit.
No.
But I've not got any belief in the fact that he can do this against somebody like Deschamps, because he's never done it against an experienced manager before, and I won't believe it until I see it.
Right, let's move on. Go on. We're gonna have one more.
I'll just close it on this. I'll close it on this, and that's it. Right. The mistakes that he made in World Cup 2018, he learned and he got better on in the Euros. So let's give him the opportunity, because so far in this tournament, like Sam said, he has learned and he has improved on the mistakes that he made in the Euros. Let's fucking have it.
Against Wales.
It's coming home, boys.
Okay, so if England do beat France on Saturday evening, they will play the winner of Morocco against Portugal, also taking place on Saturday at a 3 o'clock kickoff. Skin, I'm going to come across to you for your prediction of Morocco-Portugal first.
Morocco haven't conceded a goal yet. They've took part in a penalty shootout and they've still not conceded a goal.
Stingy.
Mate. They have, haven't they? They've conceded one, haven't they?
No, they didn't concede in the group stages. It were 0-0 against Spain, and then they won 3-0 on pens.
I'm sure the stat you showed us earlier said Morocco had scored 4 and conceded 1.
Have they? Who did they concede against? Canada. Alphonso Davies, didn't he? That header. Yeah, fair enough. I didn't think they'd conceded. My bad. Morocco versus Portugal. I'm going to go 2-1 Portugal.
Wow.
Sam?
2-0. 2-0. I think it'll be a dominant performance as well. Portugal, sorry. Yeah. Portugal, 2-0.
Sound. Mudge?
Give me 3-0. I'll go 3-0 Portugal. I think, they're looking solid at the moment. So 3-0 Portugal.
And Kemp?
Agree with Mudge. 3-0 Portugal with a brace from Ramos, I think.
Oh, top boy.
I'm going to be that guy, aren't I, and go Morocco. I've got these as my wild card, so I feel like I've got to stick within the rhythm. So I'm going to say 1-0 Morocco.
He's a lone wolf.
There we go. But by you backing Portugal, I'm in the favourite position by backing Morocco, so that's absolutely fine.
Good logic.
We'll go back to front this time, and we'll start with Kemp. Croatia against Brazil on Friday evening.
Brazil.
Lovely.
Yeah, Brazil, Richarlison to bag. I think it's going to be a fairly comfortable performance. I don't think Croatia have been that impressive this World Cup. So, I think Brazil will walk all over them, to be honest. I think it'll be 2-0, but comfortable.
2-0 Brazil. Mudge?
I'll go 3-1 Brazil. I think, like Croatia haven't been lights out, but they've got still an experienced side, and they've been at this stage before. So 3-1, though, that Brazil team is rampant at the moment.
Okay. Sam?
I'm going to go another 2-0 Brazil. I keep forgetting to say it. Terrible. 2-0 Brazil, and again, I think it's very comfortable.
Okay. Skin?
I'm going to go 3-0 Brazil.
I'm going to go 4-0 Brazil.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, wow.
There we go.
Feeling frisky.
That game is at 3 o'clock. Just to be clear, that this is actually being recorded before that game's being played, although it will go out after the game's finished.
And just a moment's silence on that, because this is the very last 3 p.m. game of the World Cup.
I thought it were bad when 10 a.m. games finished.
How gutting is that?
No, it's not.
Saturday.
The final's at 3 o'clock.
Oh, is it?
Sunday, Sunday.
I've made a right pig's ear. I'll go get some fucked off, shall I?
I would if I were you.
Jesus Christ.
The 7:00 game on Friday evening, Netherlands against Argentina. Skin?
Netherlands to win on penalties.
Oh, I'd love that. I've got it sweepstake.
I like that.
Nice. Sam?
I can't look past Argentina, despite Netherlands being my boys on the sweepstake. I am going to go with Messi and co 3-2.
Ooh, okay.
Nice.
Mudge?
Netherlands 3-1. I don't know. I've got a weird feeling they're just going to do some damage. I think Louis van Gaal's army are looking good. So
Love that so much.
Yeah, well, a 3-1.
Kemp?
I think I'm going to agree with Mudge again.
Yeah,
I think Netherlands are going to come out of this with a win. I think they have looked really impressive. I think they've gone under the radar. And I think I mentioned it the other day when the Netherlands were playing. There was a video package just for the game on Van Gaal's career. And obviously he's been, quite poorly in the past few years. Man. So I think I'd love it channeling my inner man, Kevin Keegan. But I would definitely love it if the Netherlands came out of that game. And I'm going to back them to do so. I'm going to say 2-1 Netherlands.
Am I right in thinking that I'm a lone wolf there picking Argentina?
You are. That's brilliant.
Yeah. That is absolutely insane.
Captain Nintendo.
Took no mercy. Wow. I think I've gone a complete mirror image as well. I've gone 3-2 on Friday, 3-2 Saturday, and then 2-0 Friday, 2-0 Saturday. So, yeah.
Let's move on to the locks of the week that we need to get through. So, Mudge, I'm going to come to you first because I haven't done that yet. So it's in the interest of fairness.
Okay, so locks of the week.
Dawson's fuming, by the way.
He'll be fine.
It's better not take man.
You're talking NFL, right?
No.
Footy. Right. My locks of the week are, I hate doing this. I'm going to hate doing this, but...
Please don't pick England.
I think Portugal are going to be my lock of the week.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Against Morocco. I fucking love what Morocco have done. They have injected some absolute atmosphere into this World Cup with the tournament they're having so far. But that Portugal team looked absolutely unbelievable.
Ronaldo who?
Yeah, fuck that guy. I mean, they dropped him and his replacement, Ramos, scored a hat-trick.
So, what a boy.
What a boy. Yeah, I'm going to go with Portugal for my lock of the week. And I have got Ramos scoring again.
How good were Clive Tilsley and McCoy on the call?
Hey, Clive's gone home. He's gone home.
No, yeah.
What has he?
He's gone home, mate. That was his last game. Today. Yeah.
He's not on any. Oh my god, that's awful.
Criminal, isn't it?
Terrible.
Move on.
Not even at quarter-final stage. He's gone home.
Gone home, mate.
Sorry, Adam.
It's all right, mate. No, you shed a tear for
Take control, lad. Come on.
If you want, it's fine, mate. We'll move across to Kemp. Short and sweet, if you could, please.
Fucking hell, all right then. All right, I've got Yeovil, lock at week.
Next.
Moving on.
Cora Richarlison, next.
Don't need that yet, mate.
Skin?
My lock of the week. And Mudge, you're going to hate this, but this weekend I am going Chesterfield Football Club. It's my lock of the week at home to Dorking. I will be there on Saturday cheering them on and hopefully securing me back-to-back locks of the week. Do you want my scorer as well, Aggie?
Yeah, while we're there.
For my my scorer of the week, I'm going to go to League 2, Northampton Town, Sam Hoskins. One of the top scorers in League 2 so far this season. He is my scorer for the weekend.
Thank you. Sam?
Kemp's took me first choice scorer here, I can't lie, so I'm going to have to go someone else on there. My lock of the week is Brazil to beat Croatia.
Nice.
Yeah. Quite confident with that. I think Croatia looked pretty poor against Japan. It were only because Japan was just that bad at penalties they got through. So,
you having that about your boys' Skin there?
Yeah, but I'm wrong.
Mate, it's warranted, mate. They were horrific.
Fucking terrible. Brazil to beat Croatia, and give me my score while I'm here. It was going to be Richarlison, but I am going to go for Kempy's man, Oliver McBurney, to score.
Oh, I'm not sure. I don't even know if he's fit, is he?
Oh, if he's not fit, I fucked it.
I don't think he's fit, mate.
Oh, fucking hell. That's it then. My first choice for Richarlison's gone, so that's my backup. So I am
Stick to it.
Fair enough. Both of my first ones have been taken.
Oh no,
so...
sorry to interrupt you, Ag. It looks like he's just coming back from injury, so he might feature. So you might be all right.
Sound. I'm backing him.
Bosh.
Fingers crossed for you, Sam. Both of mine have been taken, so I'm going to go to my second choices. My lock of the week for the team is Sheffield United to beat Huddersfield, second in the Championship against bottom of the Championship.
That was my backup.
So I've gone for that one. And my lock of the week for a goal scorer is Cody Gakpo.
Ooh, that's a good pick, Ag.
Love that one.
3 goals in 4 games.
Can I just say, Chesterfield has no fucking place in this podcast.
Shut the fuck up, mate.
He says
It's lock of the week, bro.
single
Lock of the week. Look at their home form. Technique Stadium is a fortress this season.
Look at their home form. I don't give a fuck about their home or away form. Stop mentioning that fucking shit club.
It's lock of the week, bro. Kemp said fucking Yeovil. What are you on about?
Yeah, but that's
Yeovil are massive compared to Town.
Oh, grow up now.
What do you mean he's Kemp? What do you expect?
Yeovil are massive everywhere they go. Yeovil are massive everywhere they go.
Let's move on to let's move on to the wild card before we get too insulting towards Chesterfield. Kemp, I'll come for you for the wild card first this time.
Yeah, you just ruined it now, mate. Well done. My wild card for the week, I'm going to have Wigan Athletic to beat Millwall away. They're all going to be wearing the Stone Island. And they're going to have a new manager bounce when Colo Toure steps into the dugout.
Ooh.
So
Yes.
Great shout. Mudge?
Will you give me this? I'm going to go.
Medge.
I'm going to go Netherlands to beat Argentina.
You fucking cunt. Man was Netherlands to qualify.
Yeah, I got Netherlands to beat Argentina.
That's a wild card.
I think so. Argentina are favourites in that.
And on what FIFA World Rankings say.
I don't know. I think there's a difference between backing a favourite and backing a wild card, isn't they? I don't know. I thought they were both pretty even myself, but
no, they've got Netherlands at just under 3-1 and Argentina at just over evens.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, so
kind of 3-1, I guess.
They're favouring Messi, but I think that Netherlands team are looking a bit saucy.
Fair enough. Sam, I'll come across to you next because I know Skin said that his has been taken, so it gives me a bit more time to think of one.
Thank you.
Okie doke. So I have gone for Oxford to beat Barnsley at home. God, these are so shit now. Well, Cup's coming to an end, aren't they? It's 14th versus 4th, and Barnsley lost the last game, and Oxford are actually unbeaten in the last 5. So my logic there is backing Oxford at home to beat Barnsley.
Nice, Skin.
I ain't got out yet, mate, so you do yours.
I'm going to be that guy, and I'm going to go with what I'd hope would happen as opposed to what I necessarily think will happen, and I'm going to go with Morocco to beat Portugal.
Nice.
Oh my God, you!
I like that.
Why bloody not?
I like that. Why not?
I'm really stuck, because I have my heart set on Netherlands to qualify, being my wild card of the week, and I don't really know where to go now. But I am going to take a shot, and I am going to say,
You're on the clock here.
I know I'm on the clock, mate. I'm fucking can't tell you how much I'm struggling. I'm so sorry.
Sonny Weaver Jr. Pull it out.
Sonny Weaver Jr. Right, okay. Come on. I'm going to go as my lock of the week. My wild card, QPR to beat Burnley. I've picked one at random because I'm struggling. There we go.
Nice.
There are the locks of the week and the wild card. Back in just a few moments' time to preview this upcoming UFC action. Welcome back to episode 11 of Loaded Sport, and on Saturday night...
Come and get your sexy daily.
You think you're special.
He's back.
There we go. On Saturday night in Las Vegas, we've got UFC 282. Over to you, Kemp.
You sounded so glamorous when you said Las Vegas then. I felt like I was going to an Elvis. Felt like I was going to an Elvis show.
Uh-huh.
He looks like
Elvis.
Yeah,
he did. That was answer.
Yeah. He does look like a fucking hound dog.
Oh, baby.
Scrappy lid.
Shoddy lid, yeah.
Well, yeah, shoddy, I said scrappy. Scrappy
lid.
So, yeah, we've got UFC 282 this weekend. A bit of a change to this event. It was originally going to be Yuri Prohaska against Glover Teixeira for the light heavyweight championship of the world. Yuri, the champion, has actually had to pull out a few weeks ago.
Yuri Geller.
Yeah, if you want, due to an injury, and he didn't want any of Ankalaev. So the new main event is going to be Jan Blachowicz versus Ankalaev for the light heavyweight championship of the world. It's not an interim championship; it is the full title. So it's a bit of a change. There's been a couple of changes to the fight card. Mudge, what are you looking forward to most about this weekend's event?
It is Paddy the Baddy. I think, like you say, Yuri pulled out. I think he busted his shoulder, didn't he?
Yes, it's a pretty bad shoulder injury. Yeah.
But I think Jan Blachowicz is a seasoned vet. He's been around for a while. He's got a good chance of maybe going for the light heavyweight championship. But Paddy the Baddy, I mean, he's turning into a bit of a superstar, isn't he? For the UFC, and he's the co-main as well. So, I think at some point, Paddy the Baddy's going to be the main event, contending for a title. But I think he's still, in terms of his name, he's the pulling power on this card for me personally. Good to see Darren Till fighting again against Du Plessis.
I'm not going to have any input on this segment except for this, right? Did anyone see the Paddy the Baddy doorbell cam?
Dogs took a slappy shite.
Sorry, love. Slappy shite. That's literally all I've got to add.
It makes him so endearing, though, doesn't it? He's this brilliant UFC fighter. He's so on the rise. He's probably the hottest star in the UFC at the moment, and he's just taking his dog for a walk. Sorry, love, my dog's had a shit outside your house. It really brings him back down to earth, doesn't it? And it makes him so much more relatable as a fighter, and that's what you want. You want to be able to relate to these guys.
So just a note, my only input on the UFC tonight is about talking about dog shit.
It's a great input, though. It's a great input. Nice. So, the card opens up, the main card opens up with Bryce Mitchell versus Ilia Topuria. Topuria, I don't know if you remember, was the guy that Paddy was beefing with at the last UFC London. So that would be an interesting fight if it happened. But both unbeaten fighters, both on the cusp of the top five in the featherweight division, which is very stacked. But there is a little bit of a gap between Volkanovski and the rest of the contenders. Hence the reason he's having that fight with Islam Makhachev for the lightweight title. So, that's going to be an interesting fight. As you just mentioned there, Mudge, you've got Darren Till versus Dricus du Plessis. I think it's going to be a sad affair for UK fight fans, to be quite honest. I think du Plessis is on a good run, and Darren Till is coming off a bit of a layoff, and he's also lost 4 out of his last 5. So I think that's going to be a bit of a sad one, Mudge, unfortunately, for Darren Till. I don't know if you agree.
I agree. I think he's pretty much known as being Makhayev's housewife nowadays. I think
Khamzat Chimaev.
Chimaev, yeah. Chimaev,
Mate, these names are so confusing. I struggle off at times.
You didn't struggle there, mate, did you? Show off about it.
Yeah, Chimaev. I think what you see, you mostly see Darren Till nowadays when he's training with Chimaev, and I think he's past his best. And I agree with you. I think du Plessis wins that one.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a long fight, to be honest. I think du Plessis is going to finish it pretty quickly, and I think it'll unfortunately be the end of Darren Till as a draw, and even maybe as a main card player. Dawson, I don't know if you've followed much of Darren Till over the past few years.
He started off really well, didn't he? He started to get a little bit of momentum behind him, but I think he's at the journeyman stage now. He'll always do you a decent spot on the card, but he's past the point now where he might be main event in a card. I'm sure he'll get a spot in London next year.
That'd be nice.
I think he's at the journeyman stage of his career, which there's nothing wrong with that. He's got a very good following. A lot of people do rate him, but I think he's past his prime, especially with his recent form that you mentioned there, Kemp.
He's still quite young though, as well. It surprises you about Darren Till. You think he's because he seems like he's been around for so long. He's only 29. Yeah. So if this is, if he's at a journeyman stage at 29, then that's such a shame, because I think he was fighting for the welterweight title at 25 years of age. So it's crazy how the fight game can just take you out of it like that. Next, we've got a late notice change. We had Robbie Lawler against Santiago Ponzinibbio, but unfortunately, Robbie Lawler has had to withdraw from the fight. So we've got Moreno stepping in for him now. I think it's going to be an interesting fight, but again, I think a lot of people, a draw for them is Robbie Lawler. He's such a legend of the game, and it's a shame that he did have to pull out of that fight. Moving on to the co-main event, and the main event for some people, especially I think myself. Paddy the Baddy Pimblett is fighting Jared Gordon. It's a bit of a step up for him. I think it's going to be a very tough fight, but I can see Paddy coming through this one with a TKO win. He's just such an enigma, and I think, we'll get into Jared Gordon's head. Jared Gordon is a little bit chinny. He has been knocked out by Charles de Bronx Oliveira, and that's no shame losing against Oliveira, former lightweight champion of the world, but getting knocked out against him. He's known as a submission specialist, and Paddy the Baddy can definitely crack just as hard as Charlie Olive. So I think Paddy the Baddy's going to take it. Dawson, you're rarely wrong on these subjects. What do you think?
I am going to go Paddy wins with around 45 seconds left in round 2.
Nice. Like it. Lump on, everybody, because he is, as I said, rarely wrong. Coming up to the main event, Jan Blachowicz versus Magomed Ankalaev. Again, I think I might have butchered that one much, so you're not on your own. But yeah, Magomed Ankalaev in the main event for, as I mentioned, the undisputed light heavyweight championship of the world after Yuri Prohaska and Glover Teixeira was cancelled. I think personally, Magomed Ankalaev takes the win via TKO. Jan's shown that in high pressure situations he can quit. He lost his light heavyweight championship against a 40-plus-year-old Glover Teixeira in a pretty pathetic showing, to be honest. I think Glover got him in a half-arsed rear naked choke and he tapped pretty much straight away. So I think it's time for Ankalaev and the Combat Sambo guys to take over a new division. And he has got a bit of, he has got a fair bit of power in his hands as well. And I think Jan Blachowicz will be so worried about the wrestling and the skill that he's got on the ground that I think he'll leave himself open for a big shot, Morgan. I think he'll get knocked out. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think in terms of reach, I think Jan's 3 inches longer, isn't he?
I wish.
Aww.
But I think, I've got Ankalaev winning as well. I think it's his time. And I think he won his last fight by TKO as well.
I believe so, yeah. And it's interesting because he is Dagestani, and it's interesting because a lot of Dagestanis are known for their superior grappling, superior wrestling, submission game.
But in the woods,
but like in the hills. But like I say, Ankalaev, he's got such power in his hands, and I'm not saying that the Dagestanis don't hold power in the hands, because they definitely do. But I think Magomed Ankalaev, pound for pound, is probably the hardest hitting Dagestani that's fought in the UFC so far. Dawson, do you agree? Do you concur?
I do, mate. And I would also like to put my name to a round 2 finish for Ankalaev on Saturday night / Sunday
Again,
morning.
everybody, lump on. But yeah, I mean, in his last fight, he knocked out Anthony Smith. Anthony Smith's no chump, former light heavyweight contender. And I think it's hopefully going to be a bit of a rebuild for the light heavyweight division. Since John Jones left to go up to heavyweight, it's not been the best in terms of excitement. I think the UFC was secretly hoping that Izzy would, step up and take that title, but unfortunately it didn't happen. So yes, fingers crossed we can breathe some new life back into that division, and also breathing new life into UFC is exactly what the event did in London this past year. I think Dana White was on record saying that, after he came to London, and I think a few of us watched that show, he's really, really high on the UK again. So much so that for March the 18th, 2023, UFC 286 is going to be at the O2 Arena in London. So rest assured, a couple of the Loaded Sports boys, myself, Mudge, maybe Dawson included as well if he fancies it.
Media passes, baby.
Fingers crossed. But yeah, we're going to see if we can grab some tickets to that, and keep your eyes on Loaded Sports socials, because we'll definitely drop some content, some vlogs, and hopefully get a few snippets of some interviews with some fans down there as well. Fingers crossed. So that's going to be a good event, and UFC 286 is coming back to London, the second numbered UFC event in UK history. So looking forward to that.
Get in.
Thank you very much, Adam.
Aggie,
enjoyed that, Kempy.
I was going to say, in just a few moments' time, we're going to be heading on to talk about Week 14 of the NFL season. But first, we've got to get away.
Here we go.
Shall we do the draw, lads?
Competition time, boys.
Competition time. Competition winner announcement. So, just a very quick reminder, in episode 9, so 2 episodes ago, last week's weekend preview, Sam asked a question, which, Sam, would you like to very quickly repeat what that question was?
The question was, who was the World Cup Golden Boot winner in 2018? And the answer of course, is Adam.
Harry Kane.
Fuck me, it's not Adam. He can't
I was
fucking
gonna
back
say.
save his life.
Hang on.
I was
scored
just testing him. I
yesterday.
was just making sure he's
Thank
still
you.
awake.
I scored.
Imagine
Yesterday.
if he didn't know it.
Yeah, of course, it's Harry Kane. So
Yes.
for all those who got it right, well done, and thanks for
everyone-
thanks for messaging.
Everyone did get it right. We thought we'd give them a simple question, and no doubt Google's there if needed.
Yeah,
But
of course.
Fortunately, we didn't get any incorrect answers. But I've
Imagine.
got the wheel. Oh mate, I wouldn't have had art to tell them.
Someone's listened to about an hour's worth of our content, and they come and get answer wrong.
Well, hopefully they enjoyed that hour of content and they decided to stick around. That was the aim of the game. But I've got all the winners up on my wheel on my phone right now. I'm going to spin it. It is a 30-second spin. So, lads, if you can give me a bit of background music, a bit of a drum roll, whatever you want to do, keep it clean,
spin.
keep it
Jesus
safe.
Christ!
Yes, mate, you've got to keep it tense, haven't you? So, Sam, drum roll, please.
Go for 30 seconds.
30-second drum roll. That's
I'm
brutal.
not giving you 30
That is
seconds.
brutal. I tell you what, let us know when there's 5 seconds left, and then we'll drop a drum roll.
I don't know, mate. I didn't start counting. It's not got a countdown on it, but it's spinning.
The wheel is currently spinning as we speak.
It's carnage.
And the winner
Holy shit!
of the £50
Here we go.
Amazon voucher
Holy shit!
just in time for Christmas to treat either a loved one or, if you're Sam, yourself. That winner is Richard, the sexy man Shellswell.
Hey!
Hey.
Round
Well
of
done,
applause for
Richard.
Thank
Well
you
done,
for
Richie.
listening.
So, Shells, when you listen to this, I'm not going to announce it on any of the socials. People can come and listen to the episode to find out if they've won or not. Drop me a message, mate, and we'll get it sorted for you by the end of the weekend. But well done to you, and a massive thank you to everyone that got involved, shared the post, obviously answered the question to try and get involved. And also, as well, I just want to make a quick point, because this week we have seen massive growth. I put it on Facebook about the increase in followers and new listeners as well. But the amount of feedback that we're individually getting in our DMs has been brilliant. The feedback we're getting is positive about what we're doing. Heartwarming indeed. And again, this is our 11th episode, is it now?
Yep.
So we're still very, very early days. We haven't got any experience in this. The best way that we can describe it, which is how Mudge described it, was we're just trying to transport that charisma and that fun that we have in a PlayStation party into a broadcasting platform, and hopefully you're enjoying it. But we're only going to get more comfortable. We're only going to get better, and we can't wait to have you along for the ride. So yeah, thank you to everyone that's been involved so far.
Thank you very much.
Everybody.
Thank you.
Love.
Nicely put, Skin. We'll move on to the
Yes, mate.
NFL and Week 14 of the NFL season in just a few moments. Welcome back to episode 11 of Loaded Sport. Okay, the only time that I stop so that you can do your singing and dancing, nobody fucking bothers.
Yes,
Great.
we've got him. We've got his head.
Yes.
Psychological torture, that.
There we go. NFL Week 14.
Loaded
This-
Sport.
You're special.
Fuck off. Too late now.
You do. I can see it in your eyes.
Week
on, Aggie, get
14
on, mate.
of
Don't
the
know where he is.
NFL season. We're going to start with the locks of the week. As promised, Mudge, I'm going to come across to you first.
Thank you. My locks for the week. I'm going to go Eagles to beat them Giants.
Back to
Um,
judges.
We're 11-1, and I'm hoping and thinking we're going to go 12-1 against a very good football team. But a division rival. I'm hoping we beat them 12-1. It's my
Drop off a
lock
bit
of
on
the
the
week.
Giants. It's a good lock.
Do you have a scorer?
Give me AJ Brown. AJ Brown will
Fuck,
score in
that
this
was mine.
game.
Move on to Kemp.
I'm going to stay in the NFC East with the Dallas Cowboys beating the Houston
them boys?
Texans. How about them Cowboys? Are going to beat the Houston Texans. I think everybody can agree the Texans are a bit of a dumpster fire this year, and the Cowboys are looking pretty strong at 9-3. So my lock of the week for the win is going to be the Dallas Cowboys beating the Houston Texans.
I think as safe as a bet it is backing any running back to score against the Packers D, it's backing any other team to beat the Texans as your lock every single week. I think you're always going to be safe with that.
I think it's, to be fair though, I do think it's the first time
it's not special.
Ow.
I do think it's the first time I've picked against the Texans so far, but I'll be free.
Oh no, it is 100%. I went saying you personally. I picked them, I think, last week.
No,
so
no, I get it. I'm just surprised.
Well,
I'm just surprised that I'm not surprised that I haven't because I'm fucking useless at this. But
hey, come on,
that's my luck of the week this week, and my scorer is going to be CMC.
Questionable today.
Yeah, he's a boy though, isn't he? He'll get through that, don't you worry.
I mean,
I'm hoping for my fantasy more than anything else, but I am playing Dib and he's got like 3 players active, so
that QB dodgy QB situation, they're going to need him. I think he'll be all right.
Yeah, should be fine.
Fair enough, Skin.
My lock of the week for the NFL is the Cincinnati Bengals to beat the Cleveland Browns. Bengals are in phenomenal form at the moment. Joe Mixon expected to be back as well against a very weak Browns rush defense, so they're my lock. And my scorer of the week is the King, Big Bad Derrick Henry. As my,
I am
of the week.
Astounded at that lock. I can't lie.
Why?
Because the Browns are like semi-decent-ish.
Fuck Browns, mate.
Really
mate,
not.
they were awful against Texans last week.
Yeah, no, I'm very surprised.
Yeah, lock of the week, the result that you are most confident in, and with the form Bengals are in, they are my most confident pick this week. And then,
they are the hottest team in the AFC, I think.
There you go.
I'm hoping Sam doesn't steal mine now, but I'm going to go across to you, Sam.
So, I am going, and I've got a feeling it probably will be taking yours. I'm going Chiefs to beat Broncos.
It is not mine.
Oh, yeah, 9-3 Chiefs against the mirror image 3-9 Broncos. Chiefs
highest
lost.
scoring team against the lowest scoring team.
That's all you need to say in it. Chiefs lost as well last week. Don't forget against the Bengals. It's going to be a perfect bounce back game. I think this for Paddy Mahomes, and I think he's going to go scorched earth on these motherfuckers. Scorer.
So proud of yourself to get that in. Then, really.
Yeah, I am. Scorer. Nah, I feel a bit bad because I wanted to go for tonight's game, and I know if you're listening to it tomorrow, I was going to go my boy Devontae again, but I think I've backed him a fair amount. So I'm not going to go Devontae this time. I'm going to go for my backup, and I'm going to go Travis Kelce against the Broncos with my lock. Nice to score as well.
Travis Kelce actually leads the league in receiving touchdowns this season.
He does. Yes.
We're looking at that when going for my lock of the week. My team that I'm going for is the Vikings to beat the Lions, and I believe this win would secure the Vikings the NFC North as well. And I think that's all you really need to go up against the Lions anyway, isn't it? They've not been great all season on defense. They've just been
better than us.
No, I think that's a bogey game.
I do. I'm fully with Mudgy.
I think that's a bogey game. And I wouldn't bash the Lions. The Lions have been gritty this year.
Yeah.
I just think I think they're a few pieces away from actually being a really good team.
I've in fact, funnily enough, I've got it later.
I think I've not got Vikings winning that. I'm not saying I've got Lions winning that for cert, but that is an up in the air game. Like I can't really choose who wins that. I think Dan Campbell's kind of solidified his job as head coach for next year because I know he was on the hot seat, but those boys are going to run through a wall for him. So, yeah, I'm surprised at your pick, Ag.
Tell you what, you're going to make me sweat on my bet when I'm backing all our locks here and you've picked them. I'm going to be sweating.
Be fine. And the touchdown scorer, Skins mentioned him, albeit briefly. I'm going to go with Joe Mixon for the Bengals against the Browns, returning back. And I just think that, like Skin said, that was my backup lock of the week. I think the Bengals are going to run away with that game. And I'd go as far as saying, as much as you're going to probably give me grief for saying this is a lock of the week as well, he's going to get at least a rushing touchdown and a receiving touchdown.
Oh my God, he's doubled down.
I'm going to go with that for Joe Mixon.
KFC double down. Love it. I'll take that because he's in both my fantasy teams. So, yes, please.
Are we going, or shall we go snake draft style on the wild card?
Yeah. Does that mean you want me to start with the wild card?
Yeah, go. You may as well go for it. Go for your wild card.
I was stuck between two, but I'm going to go with the Steelers to beat the Ravens. Does that count as a wild card?
Yeah, definitely counts. Wow. I know Lamar's out, so that's going to be a bit.
Is he definitely out? I put it down on my notes that he's potentially out because of the injury. But if he's definitely out, that probably strengthens.
He's out.
My argument.
Yeah, he's out. He's out.
As far as I've seen, I'm sure he's out for a couple of weeks.
He is questionable on the fantasy app, but
he's definitely out for a few weeks. I think it's a PCL or an MCL sprain, which is it's not season ending, but it's pretty serious. Like I don't think he's going to be playing this week.
Okay.
Well, probably strengthens my argument a bit more than I fancy the Steelers to beat the Ravens there. So that's going to be my wild card.
It's interesting that you say that, though, Adam, and absolutely fair enough having that as your wild card. Get that. But interestingly, on Sky Bet, the Pittsburgh Steelers are 4-5 on to win that game.
Dodgy.
They probably know something about Adam, what we don't.
That could be due to Lamar.
That is purely down to Lamar.
Definitely,
being out.
definitely, yeah.
They've not really stood out even with him over these last couple of weeks, though. To be fair, have they?
No,
they've been a bit leaky, haven't they? They've kind of hit a bad run of form. I've got Andrews in fancy, Mark Andrews, and he's been flunking as well. That team's
nowhere near last year's production, is it?
No, well, he started off hot, but I think this year I think Greg Norman? Is it
Beresford?
Their offensive coordinator is I think he's on the hot seat. I think he'll go at the end of this season. So. Yeah, Ravens are struggling.
Fair enough. I'm right in saying it's Sam next?
I think so. So I was going to have the Jags to beat the Titans. However, I then remembered that Derrick Henry loves playing against the Jags, and he tears them a new one every single time.
He scored the 99-yard touchdown against them, didn't he?
Yeah, every single game he just dominates them. So I have kind of stepped back away from that, and I am going to double down on the game. Me and Mudge both fancy, and I am going to take the Lions to beat the Vikings.
You fucking bastard!
Wow.
I didn't say a fucking word during you two talking about that. Purely because I was going to save it for this.
I did say I was going to mention it a bit later in that when I said it, because that's the reason why I've got them down.
What happens in a snake draft,
That's why you wanted
mate?
the snake format.
That's what happens.
Fuck's sake. Literally did not say one word. Lions have won 4 out of the last 5. They're finally winning games. The one game they lost was 3 points to the Bills. They are beating the Vikings on Sunday. Fuck's sake.
Thank you.
You say fuck's sake, they're my lock. Gee, this is going to end up awfully for me. So we're going to skip Skin then to let him find another one, or have you got a backup planned?
No, I haven't, mate. I go in.
I think it's Mudge next anyway. You know? No, Mudge went first.
Hey, all right.
Aye.
I'm going to go New York Jets to beat the Buffalo Bills.
Holy shit.
That's a good pick.
Just a bit of fun. You know, to be fair, the Bills had a lot of hype around them at the start of the season, and I think a lot of that's sort of drowned away, and they've not looked themselves in the past few weeks, especially Josh Allen at quarterback. And the Jets are a little bit unpredictable. They can pull a result out of nowhere, can't they? So I'm going to go the New York Jets beating the Buffalo Bills.
Nice.
Skinny, you ready?
No.
Over to Mudge. Oh, go on.
Go with Mudge if he's not been yet.
I'm going to go with... I'm actually going to go with the Browns beating the Bengals. Bengals are hot right now. I know that. But for some reason, I sort of remember the Browns beating the Bengals this season earlier on. Have I got that right?
Oh, you're testing me, man.
I know.
Testing my melon, man.
I'm just going on a hunch. It's a sneaky feeling, but I've got the Browns beating the Bengals. My Lions beating the Vikings was also my pick. But the minute me and Sam agreed on it, and the minute you mentioned it was a snake draft, I knew Sam was going for that. So that's an honourable mention, which you guys know I love.
Sorry, don't want to interrupt, but just to answer your question, the Browns beat the Bengals 32-13.
Wow. You say you don't want to interrupt, but then you do interrupt me, you silly cunt. So the Browns did win, yeah?
We're going to answer that. I fucking knew it.
Yes, mate, 32-13.
Yeah, give me the Browns. Browns do the double.
Skin?
I was looking at a couple. It's twice now I've had to scrape for a new wild card after Mudge took Netherlands off me. I thought about asking if I could have 49ers to beat Bucks, despite their better record. They are going to be playing a rookie quarterback. But I am going to go the reverse of my lock of the week last week and go with the Panthers to beat the Seahawks. Seahawks have not got a very good rush defense at all. Foreman, I think, is in the top 7 running backs since he took over, or top 5 even, since he took over halfway through the season. So, yeah, they've got a very good defense, not the best overall team, but I think it's one of those games where the Panthers could scrape a really scrappy win and nail me a wild card. So, yeah, Panthers to beat Seahawks is my wild card for this week.
Bold.
Wish I could nail you.
So we heard news yesterday that Von Miller is actually out for the year. with he's done his ACL in the previous game. And I just wanted to ask everyone, do you think that affects the Bills' Super Bowl chances? They paid him all that money for a 6-year contract. This was the risk going into that everyone knew were injury prone. Does this affect their Super Bowl chances in the playoffs?
Of course it does.
100%
play like that.
Yeah.
How much it affects them is obviously the bigger question, but I don't know. Bills seem to have slipped off a little bit recently. I don't know about anybody else. Chiefs seem to be leading the way. Bengals, as I mentioned, are in phenomenal form. Yeah.
Eagles.
Yeah. I mean, they're in the NFC, but yeah.
No, sorry. I thought you meant just overall, but fair.
No. Yeah, if you want. Yeah, it affects them, not necessarily just what's on the field in terms of playing ability, but that leadership as well. That will be key going into the playoffs because he's done something that Bills couldn't do, which is go all the way and get that ring. So yeah, big impact.
Yeah,
twice.
I think to your point, Skinner, I think Von Miller was probably the bigger X factor for the Rams winning the Super Bowl last year than OBJ was, because him and Donald, like in that Super Bowl, absolutely annihilated that O-line and just got to Joe Burrow all the time.
Yeah.
I think with the Bills this year, I think a lot of it actually comes down to Allen's consistency. He started off so hot, and I feel like over the last few weeks he's kind of been just above average. He's not been playing it.
Definitely fell out of that MVP race, hasn't he?
100%. I think it's Mahomes and Hurts at the moment, the front two, and with Tua
definitely
third place. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Bills get to the AFC Championship again if they get hot at the right time. They've got playmakers all over the field.
I think that's it. It's just getting hot at the right time, like you say. I mean, I've picked against them, like say, my wild card this week. But, they are falling away. And yes, it will affect, Von Miller being out for the rest of the season will absolutely affect their championship hopes and the Super Bowl hopes as well. But to be quite honest with you, the way that they're playing at the minute and the form that they're on, I can't see them getting there with or without him. But it's a big loss either way. And I think you raise a good point there, Sam.
Yeah, I mean, it started red hot, didn't he? We started the season.
It did.
Really hot.
It looked like a really good pickup for him at that point.
Yeah. I think they started nicknaming him the closer because he was always closing games off.
Yeah.
And I literally think they paid him all that money just for him to get one sack on Patrick Mahomes in a playoff game. I think that's literally the reason why they paid him, to make up a one play in a playoff game that's going to win him a playoff game when they need it most, and they're not going to have that little extra bit of star power on the ends. I think they'll miss him.
Yeah. Fair enough, lads. That's all we've got for the NFL this week. So thank you very much for joining us. I suppose to close us out, we'll go over to you, Skin.
But it's funny because I was just thinking I've not prepped one, and it's the one time that you actually come to me.
Oh, wow.
So, Kemp, to welcome you back, mate, to hopefully a full-time schedule.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you the question of the episode.
Okay.
And the question of the episode is, where outside of your bedroom, either A, have you blown your load yet, or do you hope to plan to be the place where you blow it for the first time?
Good question. Fantastic question. I think it would be easier to tell you where I don't plan on blowing my load.
Where's the first place then?
Aggie's bedroom. Final answer.
What?
Good night.